Hey everybody, this is Total Gamer Junkie and welcome you all back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare game and my opinions on both why this is a good idea and a bad idea. But before I do that, I just want to mention I still got another Life is Strange video to upload. I still got to finish Tales from the Borderlands, I will do that. And tomorrow I'll be uploading Volume 1 or Book 1, 2 and 3 of The Legend of Korra Turf Wars, and then I'm going to upload the other book, Ruins, later, the next day. So, and also, before I do start talking as well, I'm going to let you all see this trailer from the beginning. It's going to be in full volume so you can hear it, and then I'll go from there after the trailer ends about what I think and what my opinions are. Alright, here you go.
The rules have changed. There's a fine line between right and wrong. And somewhere, in the shadows, they send us in to find it.
126 Actual. Target is in the main house. You have execute authority.
Bravo 6, going dark.
Start clear! Victor 6-4, green light. All weapons are now in the wild. Raven, copy that.
Guys, hostiles assaulted civilians.
Get to safety, go!
We get dirty, and the world stays clean. That's the mission.
Who's your team?
Got some old comrades.
Okay, so that trailer is badass, okay? I really do enjoy watching it. I've actually watched it 5 times already. And I did notice a few things. One, with Captain Price, I've actually looked this up. And sadly, it is not the same voice actor. But that's also kind of good, because if this is a new reboot for the series, like, because Price is one of my favorite characters, so the fact that they're using a different voice actor for this reboot, it's like, okay, so they're leaving the Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3 and series untouched, like, by not having the same voice actor redo lines for a new reboot series, or remake? No, it's a reboot, yeah. That's not all. What's interesting is with the multiplayer, apparently we get crossplay, so PlayStation and Xbox people will be able to jump into matches together. Now that is great, because, like, let's face it, okay, PS4, Xbox One, the war needs to end, okay? Like, we need a play box, like in Life is Strange, okay? With Daniel, he doesn't play a PlayStation or an Xbox, he gets a play box. For Christmas, I believe it is. A play box, and let me tell you something, the person who invented the play box in the Life is Strange universe is the most powerful person there is. I mean, I know there's Max with Rewind and Daniel with his telekinesis ability, but this person who ended the PS4 and Xbox One conflict, that's the most powerful person in my opinion. Now, another great thing about this game is apparently they will Activision will not be selling a season pass. Oh, well, it's like, what I've read was it's not going to be selling off a standard season pass, basically. So, like, I don't know what that means, but from what I've read, multiplayer maps and events in, like, various other weapons and that will apparently be free, which is good, because if you take a look at stuff like Red Dead Redemption 2, for example, now that is a great game, and you don't really need a season pass. All a season pass really it didn't really have a season pass, actually. It just had, like, the Ultimate Edition or the Special Edition. Because games like with those great stories, who offer you a lot of content, it doesn't need a season pass. And for me, like, I don't want to buy a season pass if I'm not gonna be getting anything that's worth getting for the season pass, you know? Like, there is an exception with a few things, but ultimately, I won't buy a season pass if it's just, like, for a soundtrack or whatnot, you know what I mean? Yeah, anyways, what else is good about this is, well, actually, in my opinion, this is good. Now, apparently, this, game, it's gonna have some bit of controversy. If any of you remember in Modern Warfare 2, there was that no Russian mission where you go to an airport and you basically gun down a bunch of people, a bunch of Russians, and like you as an American, you're an undercover Russian operative, you're trying to get into Makarov's group, you're helping gun down these Russians, and that was a big controversy mission, and people had the option to skip it. Now, the reason, this is so stupid. With controversy, how are we going to move forward if we keep standing in one spot, okay? That's why I'm looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077. Because this game looks to propel us into the future and change the standard of gaming. Because it's a game for mature adults, and sadly I won't be able to play it because I'm not mature. And I'm not even kidding. I'm so not mature. No, but anyways, I'm still gonna play it anyway. But yeah. So like, if this game does have that controversial content, I will play it. I will put it on my channel. I just hope it doesn't get blocked by YouTube, because we need to move forward. We need to show more depth in games. We need more like impacts with choices in narrative-driven games. We need more, like, they need to show more depth. Like, in my opinion, like, for example, like, I don't know, like, if you have a pregnant woman, show her getting shot in the gut and killing the baby, and getting the baby killed in the process, or maybe seeing a kid get his or her head cut off. Something like that. I'm not saying, like, do that right away, but I'm saying, like, ease into the controversy, so when we get up to that point, it's like, it's not as big as a controversy as with this other thing. You know what I mean? Now for the bad news. Okay, the reason why this is bad is because it's basically retconning every game after Call of Duty World at War. Because Call of Duty World at War, you played as two people, Captain McMillan, and it might have been more than two people, but the main characters you did play as was Dmitry Potrankov, I think was his last name, Reznov's best friend, who was in Black Ops 1 and 2, and had a voice audio log in 4, but was voiced by a different character, so that doesn't count, by a different actor, so that doesn't count. And Captain McMillan, who was in Black Ops, who you played as in World at War. He was in Modern Warfare 1, he was Price's captain. Price saved him in Pripyat, and he was also in Modern Warfare 3, helping Price go through some missions and that. He was like the handler, basically, in the opening scenes when a few of the missions started. Now, because the Modern Warfare trilogy is so great. If you're gonna retcon anything, retcon the Black Ops series. From, like, Black Ops 1 was great, and if you had the retcon Black Ops 2, 3, and 4, like, if you had Woods and Kravchenko dead in that, then I'd be okay with that. Like, I love Woods, he's one of my favorite Black Ops characters of all time. Well, not Black Ops, but just COD in general. Yeah, I'd be okay with that, because I know we'd be getting a great story. We could continue with Mason. Like Black Ops 2, it wasn't as bad as I'm making it out to be. The main reason I loved Black Ops 2 was in the past. Like, that's how I only play that. Like, if I ever do replay it, I only do it to play the missions in the past. Basically, when you play as Mason, and then you get to play as Woods in that one mission, Suffer With Me. And I gotta say, Menendez was a very, very good villain. And the way he manipulates people, the way he's infiltrated the CIA, NSA, and his plan altogether, and his reasons behind it, is what makes him a great antagonist, and I, for one, would love to see more characters like him. Anyways, like, what else can I say? A few bits about the mission. The missions I've been reading. One of them is you play as this woman, and I have no idea who she is. I think it was Farah, was it, or something? I don't know, because I remember reading this somewhere. Like, what do you call it? Basically, the campaign is like you play as two people. In one of them, you play as something called a Tier 1 operator, instead of Task Force 101, which is what Price and Soap were part of. It's Tier Force 1. At least they're keeping a 1. Okay? So, yeah, and I believe this person will be fighting alongside Price, and apparently you can also level up your characters, which is a little weird, if you know what I mean. Like, it's like, you know when you play online and you level up? It's kind of like that, you're leveling up your character, which is weird, and I gotta say, I don't know if it's as weird as when you're playing Black Ops 2 and you can equip future weapons into the past, you know, but it's still, yeah, it's still a little weird. So I was just reading this thing right here, let me just find it real quick. Alright, so what I'm about to read to you is from an article, and it's basically, it talks about every story detail, level, and character, like what information they got at the time. I'll leave a link to, it's from Games Radar, and I'll leave the link to this, why do I keep saying and like? I don't know. I'll leave the link to this website in the description below so you can read it for yourself if you want, but let's read this. So the first one is called Piccadilly, and it shows a screenshot of some cars and a soldier, but I'm gonna read this all to you. The Piccadilly level appears to be a precipitator for the main story. In it, an Al-Qaeda terrorist cell is intercepted by Piccadilly Circus. Al-Qaeda terrorist cell is intercepted at Piccadilly Circus by a combined police and SAS team, or SAS. The bad guys are pulled out of their car at gunpoint in traffic, but in the chaos, a van drives forward a few yards and detonates. The teaser heavily glimpse I saw of the aftermath seemed to show a shootout in Piccadilly Circus involving a secondary terrorist attack in the streets of London following the bomb. The revealed trailers also confirmed it's a playable level with an unnamed police character. Now, this is not uncommon in Call of Duty games, where we play as a side character who has really no relevance at all, or has a part in the story but is killed off. If you look at Modern Warfare 3, when you got to protect the Russian president, you're playing as one of the security guards, and Makarov ends up killing you. Or like when you play as Ghost, for example, you get killed by General Shepard in the end, and which was bullshit. And it's like, I was like, God damn it! Wait, not Ghost. No, it was Roach. That's it, Roach, not Ghost. What am I saying? Anyways, moving on. The next thing says Townhouse, and shows an image of Price. The aftermath of the Piccadilly bombing leads Captain Price and the three SAS teams to a townhouse in London near a railway line. It's apparently on the intel of Sergeant Garrick, who's possibly the playable character. The level involves moving from floor to floor in the house, identifying and taking down the terrorists inside. Using night vision goggles to gain an advantage, some initial terrorists, shot but not immediately killed, are then executed with follow-up headshots. A man apparently takes a woman hostage, but after he's killed, she reaches for a gun and is shot as well. Which that kind of mirrors to me, you know, in Black Ops 1, the very first mission, when you kill Castro, if you shoot him in the head, it goes to slow motion bullet, then he gets hit, then the woman picks up the gun and tries to shoot you, but Frank kills her. Yeah, that's what that reminds me of. Anyway, after one of the SAS soldiers is hit by blind fire through a wall, the player can use a shotgun found in the level to blow a hole in the door and throw a grenade through. Several enemies are shot through the doors, and one is shot while hiding under a bed. As the team moves up the stairs, a voice can be can be heard yelling, "Use the child," and in one room a woman pulls a baby from a cot and holds it up in front of her. The intention is unclear. So maybe using the baby as a hostage, because that could be like unsuited content, controversial, a woman using a baby as a human shield, but in times of war that can happen, and that you never know. Like maybe, like, I'm not sure, like I remember reading this thing in Modern Warfare 3 where Lincoln was at the Vietnam War, and he mentions to Sal Marcano's son, whose name I forget, he mentions when he was at war, this woman had a goat and a baby, and the guy said she could only bring one, and so she throws her baby in the river, and after getting it, the guy is yelling at her, asking what the hell she was thinking, and she's like, "I can have another baby, but not another goat." And so, like, even though, like, I believe if that was shown, that would be a controversial, that would have been, like, 100%, that definitely would have been controversial. Anyways, moving on now, where was I? Here we go. The intention is unclear. In the attic of the house, there's an encounter with a woman who claims to be a hostage, but is shot as she reaches for a detonator. At the end of the level, Captain Price confirms to the player that the intel was correct, and that they have a lead on the terrorist leader known as the Wolf and some stolen Russian gas. Stolen Russian gas, could this be Nova 6 perhaps? Because the Nova gas has not only been used in the Black Ops series, but even though it was introduced, it's also been used in the Modern Warfare series. Now let's go down here. We got something called Hometown in the Middle East, I think it is. The level is set in the fictional country of Ursekstan, set 20 years in the past. It shows two freedom fighter comrades, a brother and sister called Hader and Farah, who will later fight alongside Captain Price's Tier 1. So it is Farah, the female who you play as, so it will be in the past then. In the flashback, they are children caught in an attack by a Russian general called Barkov, who is attempting to quash a terrorist presence. Sorry. I was like, pressure? I was like, what? No, that's not a word. It starts with Farah buried under rubble and banging on sheet metal for rescue. She's pulled clear by a fictional version of the White Helmets, the Syria Civil Defense, and reunited with her father. As the two sneak their way home, they see Russian soldiers executing civilians in the street as a gas attack begins. Once home, a Russian soldier breaks into the house and kills her father. Farah then uses a screwdriver and some floor-level wall vents to sneak around and kill the soldier with the eventual help of Hader. Together, the two sneak through the town, observing more shootings and gas victims before they reach a Russian motor pool. The level ends with Farah finding a revolver and struggling to lift it as she shoots an approaching soldier. And then there are additional levels mentioned as well in here. Highway appears to show a sandy mountainous road winding through a Middle Eastern village, presumably in the fictional Ursekstan. It was shown off as part of a demonstration of the game's use of photogrammetry to scan real-world props and environments, and includes an area of real-life coastline scattered using a drone. And demonstration of geometry rendering also revealed an embassy riot level. The location isn't clear, but there are palm trees suggesting it's Ursekstan or another Middle Eastern country. A level involving a drone operator was always shown while showing a new thermal rendering system. It's unclear whether this is a player-controlled drone or a tool, with talk of the drone operator collecting intel on the nighttime missions. The image appears to show a small airfield under attack with trucks piling up to a series of small hangars. Now, with the character in the present day, I think it would be cool, because what Black Ops 3, what I did like was when you create a male or female character, they talk. It's not like in Far Cry 5 and New Dawn, where you just mute except for grunting noises when you're in pain or when you're jumping in that. So that's what I really did like. So if you do create your character, I want that from what they did in Black Ops 3, not what they did with the Far Cry series. So anyways, that's really all the information I have, and I really do look forward to playing this in October. I'll be uploading it onto my YouTube channel. So in October, make sure you have a look at that. anyways, that's all really I have to say for this video, and I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Total Gamer Junkie, signing off.
Weapons are now in the wild.